All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Untitled Podcast, Episode 3. Today we are here with...
Alex Bernhard, New Age Hoops.
Yes, sir. With my longtime brother. Today I'm going to be giving him a haircut, as I do weekly. This guy's in the shop every single week. He brings me a meal instead of payment for a haircut.
One of the best deals I've ever made in my life.
Nah, yeah, this guy's got to stay fresh every single week. I mean, I don't think I have anyone else that comes that consistently.
What about Branford?
Oh yeah, Branford. Okay, Branford. No, because he might go on like a vacation or something.
That's true. But wouldn't you agree with the way my hair is, that I kind of need it every week and a half?
Nah, yeah, and you're being seen all the time by a lot of people, so
I can't look like a bum.
yeah. Nah, yeah, like keeping yourself fresh is a very underrated thing. I feel like. I mean, I don't keep myself fresh. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I haven't got a haircut in like 3 months, but.
Well, you could pull off like 15 different hairstyles. I could do like 2.
Yeah.
With calyx and like everything.
No, yeah, that's why. Yeah, I'm trying to grow my hair so I can do a bunch of stuff like that, but a bunch of different hairstyles. But yeah, your hair is very difficult. It definitely is one of a kind hair.
Boofa's gotten to the point now where pretty much every time I leave, I like my haircut. There was always hit or miss back in the day when we were in the basement.
Yeah.
Was I one of your first 10? Like top 10 people you started cutting?
Yeah, one of the first 10
Okay.
people that I cut. For sure. Back in the basement days.
I still remember when you got the barber chair in there for the first time.
Yeah, because before I was using like a regular dinner chair, like table chair. Yeah, my mom got me that chair for $200.
The barber chair?
Yep, for my birthday, my 16th birthday. They told me that we were going to some family like event that I didn't know about, and then next thing you know, we show up at a barber shop like in the middle of Philly, and my mom got me this chair.
That was probably one of the best gifts you ever got, right?
Oh yeah,
just because like the thoughtfulness of it and the meaning.
Like Ed Sheeran actually got his haircut at that barber shop.
Oh, that's
told me.
That's tough.
They were like, yeah, when he came for one of his concerts, he got his haircut.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Can we do that on the Untitled Pod?
Would I what?
I said I'm gonna ask you a question. I said, can we do that on the Untitled Pod?
Yeah, anything's possible.
What is
Anything's possible on the Untitled Pod.
So like I just kind of compare what I do with training and what you do with cutting hair. What's the hardest thing about cutting someone you've never cut before?
Well, you have to go into it knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, and knowing like that you have a certain way that you attack a certain request from a client.
So like, can you tell right when someone walks in looking at their hair, like, oh, this is going to be a good cut, or oh, this one's going to be like a little challenging, just like by looking at them? Can you tell that?
Yeah, I think to a degree, like I can. One thing that helps me out is like when someone walks in the door and it's a new client, like I can instantly sort of tell like their vibe, and I try to just match it up with like, okay, what haircut do they have right now? And like, then they ask me for it. They ask me for what they want to get. And I can sort of like tell just off of like their vibe, like, you know, because one person might say, let me get a low fade.
And they don't actually really want that.
Yeah, and someone else might say a low fade and might be two different things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? From Sometimes it depends where you're from. That different lingo that people use.
Do you ever feel? Let me say this first, because one thing I always like about getting a haircut with you is it could be whatever. Like there's times where we don't shut up the entire time you cut my hair. We have great conversation. I think there's been times in the past where I fell asleep, or there's times where I'm just like I don't really feel like talking, and we don't really say anything. Do you ever have it? Like, does it ever feel awkward with a kid where you feel like it's just like quiet for too long, or do you just kind of get in your zone when you have people that don't talk as much?
Yeah, exactly that. I would say definitely just get in my zone. Like if the person's vibe is that they don't want to talk, then like I just respect that. And I mean, they booked an appointment with me. They came to the shop. They're gonna pay me $60 for this haircut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm not awkward about it. It's a quiet cut. Like then they just want to enjoy the experience, and I'm just there to provide the service.
And one thing I thought of like asking you that is that those days are ending because of how much the gallery's growing. Because now, like, you want to answer it?
RJ basketball.
Yeah, let me answer it. I did tell him he could call me. Yo, RJ. Yeah, you're on the podcast right now. You're on the Untitled Pod. Say what up.
What's good? How you doing?
Boofa's cutting my hair. But
Yo, what up, dog?
you know RJ?
I'm not sure.
All right, I'll call you after this. All right, see you, bro. Wait, hold on one second. Nico, catch. RJ?
Yeah.
I've known RJ. No, it's all good. It's all good. The case is solid. So RJ, so his senior year, was he a senior with Lonnie? I think he was a junior Lonnie's senior year, and I worked on like the preseason stuff with them. RJ made it look like he broke my ankles. I'm looking at you now, Nico, in front of the entire Miami coaching staff. Because Miami was recruiting. I would say they went the hardest when it came to Lonnie. So like every single time, that was one of the coolest experiences. So being in those gyms, John Calipari came through sometimes. I forget who the Arizona coach. What'd you say? Say it again. I can't hear you. Dixon, yeah. Yeah. So he was a junior Lonnie's senior year. And we did this drill where it was basically like the defender had to guard the elbows. So your job as offensive player was just try to get inside the elbow from the top of the key, and defender was trying to keep you out. Well, the one kid, the possession before, this is when I was like, this was the downfall of my, just my health when it came to basketball. Like, this is when I was in the best shape of my life. Like I was really competing against all of them. I was probably 23, 24 years old. And this one kid took a charge, the possession right before me and RJ went, and just slid, no shirt on, slid right across the floor. And RJ went and did like an under drag, like under his leg, and I cut that off. Like I was there, but I put my foot right in the sweat pile, and I literally fell into a split. Bro, the entire gym was watching. The entire coaching staff started laughing. Coach B came over to me. He's like, yo, you gotta leave. Like you can't even stay in the gym. And I pulled my groin too. So like I got hurt, got embarrassed, and my groin did not recover I just thought of that. I forgot all about that. So thank you, RJ, for bringing back that memory. Because my groin was messed up for a while after that. And I remember seeing the Miami coaching staff like a month or two later at a game, and one of them was like, you're the one that fell that day. And I was like, dang.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a good memory right there.
That's crazy.
All right,
Miami staff.
The whole staff. Five of them, all there. Whole gym just happened to be watching right then and there.
Wow.
And only me and the kid that took the charge really knew that it was the sweat, but it's all good. Yeah, you ever been dropped on the basketball court?
Yeah.
Nico dropped you?
When was this? When was this? Where was this? At my house or something?
Like he touched earth? But have you, Boofa?
Yeah. Touched earth? touched earth. I remember one time in CYO basketball.
Like, how old?
I was probably in like second grade, or nah, third or fourth. Third or fourth. JJ Jordan does like a fucking
so
little
bad.
step back and I go to close out, but then like, you know, the Kyrie John, you know how Kyrie does the step back and the bull like,
Bro.
it goes to like,
Bro, I got dropped off.
like,
So he actually stepped back? Like, it wasn't a
like,
fake step back, has he?
yeah, he did like a step back. And like,
And you just try to click.
I was just like, bro. Bro, like that was probably the same game that we took them. Like, those games used to be crazy. St. Peter's versus St. Ignatius. Bro, we would go to like triple overtime.
That's tough. And this was middle school, fourth grade.
Well, I'm telling you, like, it would be all the
That's
all the
tough.
Catholic schools kids were there, like watching the games and shit.
At St. Ignatius?
Parents. Yeah.
Yeah, in that tiny court.
Like, oh my gosh, I used to get so tight because I thought like I was the best player in that league, and I would just complain to all the refs, like. But like, I would body these kids. I feel like.
Now, hold on. So listen, any kid that watches this, stop bitching at refs. Just stop. Just stop doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just not good with authority. I think that was my problem.
yeah, you'll be all right. You turned out all right. But I just, I love basketball. You know that. I watch a lot of basketball, a lot of high school basketball. And there's two things that bother me the most. And one is kids just constantly bitching. Constantly. Because one, even if you're just trying to be a competitor and strategic about it, it doesn't make any sense. Because if you're yelling at a grown man or woman because you want the call, and you think, like, you need to understand how communication and how that works, because if you think they're going to actually want to give you the call because you're disrespecting them, it's never going to happen.
That's after that.
Like, I was the kid, like, I always loved joking around with the rest. I love talking to them, like, yo, you see who's holding me there? Like, you got to be respectful and you got to treat them like humans, like they are. So that bothers me. That's one. The second one that bothers me is kids that don't talk on defense. Kids are out there just standing there, not calling out screens, not rotating help defense, not understanding how to play team basketball. And literally, that's pretty much all of the county. No one knows how to talk on defense. But at camp this week, you better know that we're going to have a humongous emphasis on defensive communication. Nico, what should I do to a kid? What are you going to say?
No, go ahead, ask him.
What, either of you. So, like, going into camp, you're going to be a counselor this week, especially for the high school group. Like, these kids, I'm going to force them to get out of their comfort zone, like force them to understand that you can't be scared to, because the thing that I really like about this camp compared to like my normal training.
Okay, well, wait. Tell the people about the camp.
All right.
Tell the people about the camp.
All right. So this week, Monday, August 5th to August 8th, Coach Nish and I are having our first annual 3v3 basketball camp. Ask me what a 3v3 basketball camp is.
So what's a 3v3 battle?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. So normally for new age hoops, like those of you that know us, we're all about like individual skill, your shooting form, your ability to just improve your finishing, your handle, but all individual skill. This camp's going to be all about team basketball. It's going to be, how do you play off the ball? When do you space? How do you space? Like, do you know when to drift to the corner? Do you know when the best times to cut are? Do you know how to read a screen? Do you know how to pop when they go under? Do you know how to curl when they trail? And really, like as we're planning right now, so day one is going to be evaluation. So it's a 4-day camp. We have a youth camp and we have a high school camp. The high school camp will be high school boys, high school girls. So Nico, day one will be like different styles of play. So one style we might play will be 3 dribble limit with no on-ball screen. So you're trying to teach the kids how to set screens, how to work off the ball. Another style we might play might be all dribble handoffs, all downhill, all like as soon as you catch it, like Steph Curry said in the one video, 25 seconds to make a decision. So day one will all be teaching different styles of the game of basketball, how to play, and we'll be evaluating. And then after that camp ends, or day one ends, we'll be drafting. That's my favorite part. I can't wait. We're literally going to draft the kids to teams. Day 2, we're gonna get introduce the kids to what team they're on. They're gonna have team practices, team scrimmages. Day 3 will be pool play, and then day 4 is gonna be tournament. We'll have champions. We'll pick MVPs. But I think it's just going to be a very, very high energy camp. We got a lot of talent in the building. One thing I was about to say to you right before we started this was we're definitely going to have to do a counselors versus the champions, because you're going to have you, Kev. Who else is going to be there that could really, really hoop?
Wait.
Kev's fans. Kingston will probably he's one of the he's going to be a kid competing. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So you might be ended up playing Kingston's team or S-Dot's team or somebody in the yeah. That's what I'm excited about, and that's why right now it's confirmed. You, Kev, Stella, that'll be training with me forever. You would know her if you saw her. Stella's one of my Stella
prodigies.
Yeah, she came after you, but she's one of the kids I've been the most consistent with over the years. But that's the 3v3 camp in a nutshell. I want it to be different. I'm not trying to throw shade at any basketball camps, but the camps I went to as a kid, there was just a lot of we did all the 5-on-5 and the 3-on-3 and the 1-on-1, but there wasn't much teaching going on how to play the game. It was really just the most talented kids had success, and then the other kids just kind of there. It's always good. I love basketball camps, but I want this one to be a little bit different than any camp I've seen out there. Our man Buff Cuts is going to be in the building. Tell them about the idea we were just talking about. What is that? What are you spraying on me? That's new. I don't remember this ever before.
I definitely have used this on you. Remember, I go like this and I show you. It's these little hair fibers. I've never done that.
But it's all good. It's something new. But anyway, tell them about our idea. Because one of my sponsors right here, the reason that I'm able to only buy him food to get a haircut is because he's my sponsor, and I've known him since he was 13.
And
I like to think I gave him some good advice in life that helped him get to where he is today.
the idea for the camp, indeed, you did. The idea for the camp is when the kids take their 5-minute water break or something, they do half-court shots. If you hit a half-court, John, you get a free cut.
What do you think? We think you just give them one shot per break, or it's just a free-for-all? Just one shot, right?
Yeah, one shot per break.
Well, you said you're only going to come the first day? We'll see if we can get them there twice.
Nah, I'll probably be able to slot. No, yeah. It just depends which day, which time. It'll be different days, different.
No, that's Thursday. So the championship day.
What?
He's saying that you should come the first day and the last day.
When's the last day?
Thursday.
Thursday, I work 12 to 8.
So you could come for you could come for the championship of the older kids. The older kids get done at 11:30.
Oh, I thought the older kids got done.
No, so older kids 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Younger kids 12 to 3.
Yeah.
All right, that works. So yeah, guys, if you're coming to camp, you're gonna get a chance to get a free haircut. Got to hit some half-court shots. Younger kids probably do NBA range 3 or something.
Yeah.
But no, that's one thing too.
These kids are evolving nowadays. Depends on the kid.
Yo, some of these young kids, man. That's one thing I always say. So the one camp's 4th to 7th grade, and you never know what you're going to get with a 4th grader. You might get a kid that literally can't dribble and can't reach the rim, but then you might get a kid that's doing and-one mixtape, handle, step back threes. That's what you probably were like, Nico, huh? As a young bull.
I couldn't do that, no simple shit.
But no, what we were talking about before too is one of the things at camp, and that this is really important to me. We have millions of distractions in our everyday life, and I think kids' attention spans are worse than ever before. And just to retain information, I learned something recently that, let's say you do 20 minutes of teaching something, you're learning. What you do after that 20 minutes is when you're going to really retain or not retain the information. So let's say you do 20 minutes of learning something, and then you take 5 minutes just to sit there with like a notebook and think about what you learned and write down thoughts and really let it sink into your subconscious mind, you might really retain some stuff. God bless you.
I was so.
God, is that why you tap me?
Hard to
God bless you. God bless you. But it's say you learn something for 20 minutes and then right afterwards you just go on your phone and you start scrolling. Like, chances are most of that stuff is going to go out in one ear, out the other. So just teaching kids about being a little bit more present, being mindful.
Yeah, that's not a lot of people are doing stuff like that for the youth. I feel like because a lot of people themselves haven't even like learned to do them. So to be able to then,
I think the technical term these days is called regulating your nervous system. Have you been seeing that? I feel like I've been seeing that a lot lately. A lot of like neuroscience. So basically we have the nervous system and we have fight or flight. So you either have your sympathetic nervous system or your parasympathetic nervous system. I wish Flex or Nico were right here right now to look it up. I always forget which one's which. But basically one of them is your stress, like so if you do like a highly active activity or like workout or something, you're going to be in that fight or flight, stressed out nervous system because you're beating your body up, all that.
yeah,
That's why I do that. You ever do that 7-Eleven breathing? I ever have you do that?
I've done it before.
So that's one thing you can do after a workout to bring yourself back down to a calmer nervous system. But yeah, your nervous system is everything, and most people are just constantly living in a stressed out state of mind and really survival mode. I feel like that's the easiest, most relatable way to say it. I'm 32 years old. I don't know why I dated myself like that, but I think I've lived a lot of my adult life in a survival mode state, just kind of figuring things out ever since COVID, really. So you're only 19. You just turned 20, right?
Yep. Now I'm 20.
So like, you ever feel like you're in that?
Oh,
Have been in that survival mode state?
yeah. I feel like all the time. I feel like not 24/7 because I'm aware. I feel like a little bit, but I know what you're talking about. I feel like,
So why though? I mean, let me just say, from me on the outside looking in, you're 20 years old, you have your own business, you have your own barbershop, it's growing, like you create your own schedule. You're not at the point where you're down to your last dollar financially, you have your health. So like for me looking in, I feel like you're on top of everything and you should be waking up every day just relaxed and excited for a new day. So it kind of surprises me to hear you say, I was expecting you to be like, oh no, but definitely not. So what makes you feel like you're in a survival state?
probably that I am still so young, and yes, everything you just said is right, but there's so much other stuff happening around me that I'm trying to build it up so much that I can take myself out of certain situations that are just draining me outside of everything that you were just talking about, like the barbershop and
Okay.
like I feel like
So you're saying that there's things outside of everything I was talking about that are adding stress to your everyday life.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Pizza? So I know
Anything.
I'm all right. I'm trying to lose weight. That's another topic I'm going to come out with recently or soon. So we came into this Untitled Podcast, episode 3.
Yeah, get that.
Yo, if this makes it onto the pod, was my thing still here?
Yeah.
If this makes it on, guys, don't get what Flex just said. It's not good for you. But anyway.
They can't hear Flex.
They can't?
No, he's all the way over there.
They can hear a little bit in the background. See, it's funny because I'm thinking they can hear them just as good as they can hear us.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to remind you when you were talking to Nico. Like, you should sort of restate what he said.
Ah,
You know,
okay. All right. Makes sense for the people.
Yeah, for the people.
So we came into episode 3 just knowing I needed a haircut. That's really what started this. We didn't really have much of a script, but I know one thing that's been like on my mind recently that I think is just valuable to share, and I think you'll resonate with it is the older you get and the more serious you get about your life, what you say yes to and what you say no to is so important.
Very.
Because like, you know, you've gotten to the point now where people are going to want your time and energy. Like what are the kids saying nowadays about aura? I feel like that's a new thing. Like you have a good aura. And Flex has it too. Like Flex is amazing at what he does with videos. So people are constantly asking him for his time and his energy. And I realize that you got to say no a lot more than what's comfortable. And when you start to do that, life gets a lot less.
Wait, re-say that part right there?
You got to say no a lot more than what's comfortable. Like it's not comfortable to say no to stuff, especially to your friends and the people you care about. But it's easier to say yes even when we don't want to, because you don't want to upset anybody. But I feel like the more you grow, the more you have to start to say no. And then you start to learn what are the things that are aligned with your vision and your values that you can say yes to, and what are things that really aren't aligned, and it then becomes easier to say no, because you get more of an idea of the person you are and who you're becoming and who is important for you to become.
Exactly. Like some things are obvious what you know you need.
Right. Like if you were like, yo, you want to do meth today? I'd be like, no, because I don't do that. That's obvious.
Yeah.
But if it was like, hey, you want to go see a movie or something, that's not as easy to say no to, because it's harmless, but it's still your time.
Yeah.
You're realizing now your time is so valuable. These days are going by like nothing. Weeks are just flying by. Summer's flying by. Next thing you know, that's what I try to tell kids is 3 months is going to go by so fast, and you could look back at that 3 months and not much change at all around you, or you could have literally drastic life-altering changes happen based off the decision you make in that time.
Each and every day. You can literally change your life
in one day.
Yeah.
You can change your life in one day, one just aha moment, and make a decision from there. One thing I was starting to tell Nico off camera when we were talking about topics is I really feel, not to go too deep, but I really feel like God and the universe will start to show you signs when you're on the right track. And when you're not.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You'll get confirmation if you feel like
God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It definitely.
There's an answer. It's speaking.
It definitely.
Come on, I'll answer it. Would you like me to put you on speaker so you're on the pod live, or should I keep you off speakerphone? Oh no, I didn't even hear it. Should I have someone come let you in? Okay. All right. Well, I'll call you as soon as we're done. All right. Sounds good.
Yo, did you hear that new song by Lil Yachty and Ian?
Okay. But just call me. Bye. She didn't want to be on the pod.
That's all right.
Oh gosh. My sister just had a baby. I'm an uncle.
Hey.
Can't wait to meet her. Harmony Simmons.
Oh, Harmony. That's a good name.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna call her Minnie.
Call you what?
I'm gonna call her Minnie.
Minnie. I give you a nice little trim.
Untitled Pod, Episode 3, Part 2.
It says 20 minutes now.
20 minutes remaining.
Whoa, born in a bedroom, man. All right, were you gonna play? Talk about fitness?
What was that? That was pretty good.
I'm eventually gonna be a singer at some point.
I could see you. Well, I heard that one song you were on. The rap song.
Not so bad.
I don't know. It was all right though.
I mean, I'm 20. I got plenty of time. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be on a stage singing in front of people somewhere. All right, so fitness.
I think we got to close out on anything we talked about with saying yes and saying no and knowing your values. I think we dropped enough gems for them in that department.
No, that is a good place to go back
It's
to.
like, how many kids actually know what they value? Do you know what you value? What do you value? What are your core values? I'm gonna turn my phone on and bring her off.
I value.
I think every kid should be able. If someone says to them, "What are your core values?" Every person should be able to answer that.
100%.
So talk to me.
I value how I feel each and every day. And I
You value how you feel. Okay.
look forward to completing things that I say that I am going to complete. Like,
I like that one right there.
because then once you finish that thing that you said that you did, you're gonna do, then you might feel a little accomplished, but that's gonna lead you to a new place where you're gonna say another thing of, I need to get this done.
So you're on a really this is important. So I think it's important for two reasons. Being able to be someone that does what they say they're going to do. That's like my ultimate goal in life. Like nothing really else matters more to me than being someone that can be trusted with their word. So like if I tell Nico, like, yo, Nico, I'll go to the gym with you Monday at 2, like doing it no matter what.
Exactly.
And on the other note is like, I feel like that's how you build self-confidence. Like a lot of kids struggle with confidence. Like more people in the world, I would say, struggle with confidence than don't. Would you agree with that? Adults even.
I would agree with that.
And I think one of the ways to build self-confidence is to literally set a goal for yourself or make a commitment and then do it. Because then you're starting to show yourself, like, I am a person that does what I say I'm going to do. And you have to give yourself evidence to do that.
Exactly. Like, you're the only one that you're gonna harm if you don't do the thing that you said you were gonna do.
And it's like, if you want, like, how are you going to have people trust you if you don't even really trust yourself?
Exactly. There was another point I was gonna go to.
My bad, I kind of cut you off. I just think especially young men, like being a man of your word should be highly important to you.
Oh, and the other part I was talking about was feeling good every day. Like feeling like in a state of, because I believe like a truly balanced life is really impossible. It's really a balancing act.
Agreed with that.
You know what I mean? It's really like you're trying to figure out how to balance all these different things. It's not that
It can't be like perfectly balanced at all times.
right.
Sometimes one area might have to be more, you have to be all in on it, and then other areas like take a step back. So like I'm sure there's been times where, like, building your business where you had to put a less emphasis on your friendships and your family.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean you cared less about them. It was just you were in a period of time where you needed to put your focus elsewhere.
Exactly. Like literally, I've had I could give you an exact moment when we were going to paint the front of the shop, and Marcus the painter came over and he introduced, like, this is like the second time we met. We're brainstorming for the idea, and then he's just like, all right, well, like, are we going to go get paint? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I just left my sister's birthday party for this. Like, I got to go back. There's some family there that I haven't seen in a while. And he's like, bro, like, are we doing this or not? Like, this is a moment right here where you make that decision. And I was like, dang, you're right. Like,
Wait, so what'd you do?
I gotta just lock in and let's go get the paint and let's start this. And we were out there painting till 2 a.m. like grinding.
So did you miss the rest of your sister's party?
Yeah.
Was she upset?
No.
Oh, was anybody upset? Like parents or like
Some of my cousins that like I haven't seen in a while.
So like looking back now, do you feel like that was the right decision?
100%.
Because you got it done.
I didn't procrastinate. I gave my cousins a good hug. Like, I miss you. I'll see you soon.
So it's not like you didn't show up at all.
Right, exactly. But that's just an example of like sometimes
A tough decision you had to make.
Yeah, tough decision.
Tough decision and tough conversations. Those are necessary.
Yep. And communication and having conversations is literally the key to life. I feel like it's a
Bro.
key. It's literally the key.
Literally, like that makes
Being able to look someone in the eyes and like
and communicate with them.
communicate
Yes,
with them.
I think
However they communicate,
that-
you know how to respond.
that's the thing that separates us from the animals. Like we can speak, and I really agree with you. That's the key to life. Like that's like the most important skill people need to master is you have to be able to communicate. Because if you can't communicate, then
Bro, I'm telling you, every time I've come in contact with like a person of like known high value,
like stature, status.
they have a good like a high status. Like you bring everyone back down to reality once you can look in at their eyes and like have a good conversation with them. Like you bring it all together of like, okay, we're both just two people here trying to figure out. Like,
So I saw some of this guy today. So I definitely still scroll more than I would like to, but because like I feel like the algorithm like fits what you like. I always see motivational stuff, and there was this guy that all he was doing was walking around and talking to strangers and recording it. And he made a video saying how he ran into somebody, and the guy was just so welcoming. And he was the one, the random guy was the one talking to him. And he said stuff like, "Hey, how you doing?" Da, 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 like, but just very confident. And the guy was like, "Do I know you? Did I meet you somewhere?" And he said later on he was reflecting on it, and the only reason he felt like he knew him from somewhere was because that guy made him feel so comfortable with how he presented himself and how his energy was. And
wow.
just saying how like within that first second of meeting someone, like the tonality of your voice and your energy, and are you looking someone in the eye or are you looking nervous? Like that is going to set their frame of how they view you.
That moment, exactly that moment.
That first moment of that first introduction, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm not one of those people that's going to tell you, oh, you need to get straight A's in school and do all that stuff, because I feel like most quality stuff you're going to learn outside of school through like just books and mentors. But there's only really one thing I could take away from college that I'll never forget. And it was like my personal communication teacher. And he said, when you meet somebody, if you have a good first impression, it'll take 7 straight bad impressions after that for them to change their view of you. But if you have a bad first impression, it's the same thing. It'll take 7 straight good impressions for them to change how they view you.
Wow.
Like just how that first impression is it molds how people view you. It molds their perception of you. And you ever hear that quote? It's like, it's something about like opportunity and like being prepared for an opportunity even when you don't have one. Like it's better to be prepared for an opportunity you don't have than to have an opportunity and not be prepared.
Exactly.
Like that goes
like
on
you
to
have to picture in your head just like little scenarios and random things that like you want to see happen in your life, and then just like play them out in your head, and how would you really act in them. Okay, now you thought about it, now actually say like the things, you know what I mean? Like start.
Words are powerful,
Oh
man.
my gosh. Like I've practiced like speeches and stuff.
Nice.
And like that moment when you're doing that speech, you get that feeling. It's like a weird feeling of you just like trying to manifest something, and then like, but you're making it all up in your head. Like you're just making it all up, but you're doing it. So there's real reality.
Right, right. This is the part I always talk during haircuts and I get yelled at. So I'll tell you my thoughts when you tell me. Boy, what was it? It was,
It's very difficult to cut in here with it being so hot and sweaty. I'm sweating and you're sweating.
I know, I was starting to feel it tip off like the middle of my head. And I wanted to turn the air conditioner off. Good. But I think one thing kids and people need to know is that you shouldn't ever speak jokingly. Like, I'm so aware now of like how I think and how I talk. So I'll never say, like, you shouldn't ever say something like,
Yeah, I don't say stuff that I don't
you
actually.
shouldn't say negative stuff. Like, you shouldn't say anything. You shouldn't even speak things that you don't want
Sure.
to be true.
Yeah.
So like when people say things like "F my life" or like "I have the worst luck" or just victim stuff. Like they don't realize that they're creating that. If
The
you
minute you say it, you thought it.
the minute you're like, "Oh, I've got bad luck," yes, you do, because you're saying it. Like the minute you say like, "Oh, I'm not good at that," yeah, you're not, because of how you're speaking.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about Nico. Like my man believes he could play against any basketball player on the planet.
And then he
Probably
plays like
can,
it.
because he believes it.
Yeah.
Probably thinks he could beat me in a shootout. Can't though. He's not even listening. I'm gonna do an open challenge right now. If anybody 5 spots, high school 3, 5 shots at each spot, can make more than me, I will give you free one-on-one training for a month. Open challenge. Flex, we gotta make it up. We'll make it a series. Bro, you know what this brought back to me? My idea for a podcast. I told you about it, the 100 free throw thing.
Wow.
Remember that?
100 free throw podcast.
Did I tell you about it before? Dude, we're starting it. I'm making a commitment right now. I'm making it because it's something that I believe in so strongly that every single kid that's serious about basketball should make it a priority to shoot 100 free throws a day. It takes 20 minutes. If you're rebounding for yourself, it might take 30, 35. But it's building the habit of consistency. It's working on one of the most important aspects of the game. And I always say this, again, another person that I met that I look up to, Jay Wright, and I asked him, in season, what do your players do for skill development? And he said, no matter what, whether it's practice day, game day, they need to shoot 100 free throws, 100 threes every day. It could be before practice, after practice, at nighttime, but they just need to be that consistency of getting those 200 reps up. And I just think it's so underrated, the consistency of doing the little things. And like what that can do for you. That's the only thing I can say I did consistently as a kid is shoot 100 free throws. So yeah, 100 free throw podcast coming soon. You want to be my first guest?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically the idea is like I shoot 10, you shoot 10, and we do it 10 times. And what I was talking about with Flex, I don't know if it's better to have the podcast during the free throws, like while we're shooting, or it was better to just do a quick, like, fast forward. We shot all the free throws, and then we sit down afterwards and talk about it. Kind of like during, right?
During. Yep.
Yeah.
It's not. I was just watching, you know, Ty Lopez.
Yeah. That's like literally the first mentor or like person that posts like positive stuff on social media that I ever found. Ty Lopez. Go
He
ahead.
was awesome.
First one I ever found. I remember I thought he was like a snake oil salesman. Like, I thought he was trying to scam me and stuff, and he really is just actually puts out amazing information into the world.
He's just mad curious.
Yeah.
I just watched his podcast with Mark Cuban.
Is it Ty Lopez has his own podcast?
It was just sort of like, it was like a 30-minute vlog type podcast that he did at his house. Like Mark came to his house.
That's tough.
They sat in the chair for some clips. They were shooting hoops in his backyard for some clips.
Okay. So it wasn't like just one sit down thing. It was kind of clipped together.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. Yo, thank you for watching episode 3 of the Untitled Podcast.
Stay tuned for the next episode and sponsor us.
And like and comment and subscribe.